Family and friends, welcome to the Fall 2024 Commencement Ceremony for Southeast Technical College. We ask that you please stand as the platform party, faculty, and our graduates enter the ballroom. The platform party is led by Corey Klossman, President of Southeast Technical College. Are led by the Associate Deans of Curriculum and Instruction, Deborah Letcher and Jacqueline Kramer. The graduating class of 2024 is led by Suzanne Heising and Emily Zilgit. And now, please welcome the graduating class of 2024. We ask that you please remain standing for the national anthem. The colors are presented by the Washington High School Junior ROTC.
Good evening. My name is Corey Klossman, and I have the privilege and honor of serving as the president of Southeast Technical College. Students, and you may be seated as well. Thank you. Students of the class of 2024, parents, family, friends, and honored guests, it is my pleasure to welcome you to the fall commencement ceremony of Southeast Technical College. We gather here today to recognize our graduates and their hard work and the accomplishment of the completion of their program of study. We salute your effort, your diligence, your talent, and your intellect. We also want to take a moment to express gratitude to all of you who have supported our students during your scholarly pursuits, your family, your friends, and your instructors who are here today to celebrate this momentous occasion and acknowledge your accomplishments. Graduates, would you please join me in thanking your loved ones and your instructors for helping you get here to this point today. Now, I would like to introduce the individuals on the platform here with me today. Representative for the state of South Dakota, Dusty Johnson. Dr. Benjamin Valdez, Vice President of Academic Affairs. Megan Fisher, Vice President for Enrollment Management and Student Affairs. Eric Van Laken, Chief Information Officer. Kristen Pasale, Dean of Curriculum and Instruction. Nick Schneider, Dean of Curriculum and Instruction. Jason Merritt, Dean of Curriculum and Instruction. Mark Marin, Sioux Falls School Board member. Jackie Palmer, Associate Dean of Faculty Development and Director of Institutional Effectiveness. Dr. Deborah Letcher, Associate Dean of Curriculum and Instruction. Jacqueline Kramer, Associate Dean of Curriculum and Instruction. And Jeff Van Overbeek, Commencement MC and STC General Education faculty person. Would you please join me in welcoming them all to the stage? There's one other person that I do want to acknowledge as well, the person who made all of this happen today, and without her, we would not be here. Please join me in thanking Christy Vortherms, who's our Associate Vice President for Institutional Research and Registrar, who's the one who made all of the magic today happen. So please join me in thanking Christy as well. Now, I would like to introduce Megan Fisher, our Vice President for Enrollment Management and Student Affairs, who will introduce our guest speaker.
It's my privilege to welcome tonight's commencement speaker. Dusty Johnson brings an energetic and optimistic style to Washington as South Dakota's lone voice in the United States House of Representatives. A recognized leader in issues related to rural America, agriculture, and welfare reform, he serves on the Agriculture Committee and as chairman of the Commodity Markets, Digital Assets, and Rural Development Subcommittee. As a member of the Transportation and Infrastructure Committee, Dusty has been focused on finding solutions to the supply chain crisis through his Ocean Shipping Reform Act, which passed the House in 2021. Appointed to the Select Committee on China, Dusty addresses the 360-degree threat posed by China, especially their ownership of American ag land and ag businesses and control over tech. Prior to being elected to Congress, he served as Chief of Staff to the Governor and as Vice President of an engineering firm specializing in rural telecommunications. Dusty lives in Mitchell, South Dakota with his wife and 3 sons. Please help me welcome the Honorable Congressman Dusty Johnson.
It's exciting to be here tonight. I spent most of my week in D.C., and of course that place drives me crazy because of how dumb it can be. But it is really a beautiful town at Christmas time. It's weird, though, there are no nativity scenes in D.C. Apparently, they can't find 3 wise men. Thank you for laughing. Finally, the platform got the joke. Listen, wisdom is in short supply in Washington, D.C., and so I guess I'm grateful that I'm a commencement speaker, because a commencement speaker is supposed to provide wisdom to graduates, and yet I come from a town where wisdom is in such short supply, but maybe that's okay, graduates. Maybe we can learn from the failures of Congress. I will identify 4 specific failings of Washington, D.C., and then I'll offer for each of them one specific piece of advice I would have for you so that you can avoid being like politicians and a broken D.C. So failing number 1, Washington, D.C. can be ever so self-centered. We all can just spot the politicians who seem to care more about being famous than being effective. Now, there are lots of examples. I could probably mention up the name of one of the examples, but it seems like that would be a little rude. So for anonymity's sake, I'll just mention her initials, AOC. But of course, there are examples on both sides of the aisle, people who maybe are self-centered. And don't make that mistake. Don't live in a world that is so small that you're at the center of it. And so my one piece of advice to avoid that one DC failing would be to just make sure throughout your life you are always involved with at least one organization. Now for me, the best have been a church or Abbott House. That's a home for struggling teenagers that's based in Mitchell. But it really doesn't matter what the organization is. Just have an organization where you can be involved, meet people outside of your workplace, outside of your family, and you can be reminded that there are things more important in life than just yourself. All right, failing number 2 of DC. It is often said that Congress spends like drunken sailors, which seems to be quite a rude thing to say about the sailors. Now, I have voted against $13 trillion in spending just in the last 4 years. I'm always a little surprised at how hard it is for me to get my colleagues to do the same, but I guess maybe it makes sense. Saying no is not a very popular thing to do, and that's also true in your personal finances. It's always more fun to spend the money than it is to save the money. But saving is what leads to financial independence, and getting started early is really, really important. And so that leads me to piece of advice number 2. Invest $25 a week starting now. $25 is something that generally almost everybody is capable of doing. And of course, you've made an excellent decision in where you chose to get your education. We always hear about the great pay that can come from being in a skilled profession. And so just take $25 a week of that salary and invest it. Now, if you do that, it's amazing how quickly it can add up. If you start at age 20, if you save only $25 a week, by the time you retire, if you assume average returns in the marketplace, you will have somewhere around $1.5 million just on $25 a week. But the key is you have to start early. And so get yourself a financial advisor and start saving today. Failing number 3. One time I was talking to a lady in the airport. She happened to mention to me that she had a brother who had run for Congress a few years before. I said, oh, what does he do now? And she said, nothing. He got elected. And yes, it's true. Congress is not all that productive. And that's really too bad, because study after study shows that people who do meaningful work are much happier than people who don't. Now, you've already made a hugely important decision with regard to having the ability to do meaningful work, because you chose Southeast and you chose your program. So of course you know how to do meaningful work. That's what this whole enterprise is about, making sure people have the skills they need to do productive work. But you also want to be productive in your personal life. And so that leads me to piece of advice number 3. And it seems pretty simple, but it's ever so effective. Make a to-do list every single day. Studies show that people who have a to-do list every day get 25% more done daily than people who don't make a to-do list. And so Congress isn't organized or productive, but a to-do list will help make sure that you avoid that failing. So finally, failure number 4. DC is such a negative place. Too many politicians, my colleagues, have forgotten that governing is supposed to be about addition and multiplication, not about subtraction and division. And of course, I know our country has challenges, but being so negative about them doesn't actually help to solve them. We all need to be informed about our world, but my observation is that too much news turns people toward anger and fear and pessimism. And so my piece of advice number 4 is this: manage your news diet. Seems to me that news is a lot like salt. Now, you have to have salt in your diet. If you don't have any salt, you die. But if you have too much salt, you can also die. And I feel like the people who watch too many hours a day of cable news, or spend too many hours a day on far right or far left news sites, are people who probably are not as healthy as citizens as they can be. So don't be as negative and as hyper-partisan as DC. Manage that news diet. All right, so we'll come to the close. Graduates, you are well on the way to success. You chose a great school and great programs. To avoid those DC failings and to be great citizens, remember these 4 things in the recipe. Get involved with at least one group, save $25 a week, have a daily to-do list, and manage your news diet. You probably noticed I've had a little fun picking on the politicians tonight. I hope you will forgive me for that. You want to know why political jokes aren't funny? It's because so many of them get elected. But the truth is that this is a great country. It's the best that there has ever been. And we are great because we have great citizens. And frankly, getting a great education is oftentimes a part of being a great citizen. So thank you for the opportunity to be a part of your special day. Thank you for giving me an opportunity to serve this state and this country. Graduates, congratulations and best of luck to you all. Thanks.
At this time, we'd like to acknowledge graduates who have served in the military. I believe we have some here. Yes, no? Yes, we do. Thank you for your service.
Will the class of 2024 please come forward to be recognized? Members of the Sioux Falls School Board and Deans of Curriculum Instruction, would you please join me in the presentation of the degrees and diplomas? Accounting, Danica Herman. Haley Merrow. Adrian Richardson. Jenna Simfali. Kimberly Thompson. Business Administration, Sakina Bahati. Savannah Handy. Jonathan Jennings. Amuda Kenyi. Montserrat Lozano. Jalen Mamer. Sydney Schoenrock. Entrepreneurship, Molly Brown. Colton O'Toole. Marketing, Jayla Kroc. Jamie Shrivers. Allied Health Certificate, Felice Robert. Licensed Practical Nursing, Sanim Vanabong. Shay Bethke. Amelia Bilderback. Cami Bootsma. Taya Brown. Gabby Fettel. Billy Joe Grimes. Ariel Hoban. Bemnet Casey. Mema Korha. Nathan Langbean. Dolores Mackey. Sydney Meary. Alexandra Person. Ava Person. Jen Pulowski. Elise Rosinski. Peyton Sanchez. Miranda Sheckelway. Dana Sherfrick. Amanda Tracy. Rose Wah. Kira Wager. Morel Welter. Avery Whittree. Medical Coding, Kenya Mejia de Landaverde. Phlebotomy Certificate, Babena Folk. Alexis Gardner Swenson. Maddie Hurst. Peyton Sin. Sally Weiland. Registered Nurse, Amber Allen. Tony Dumas. Erica Engelman. Maya Fear. Ashley Gannon. Rachel Heilman. Gemelin Hidalgo. Abigail Hauk. Jimmy Kriz. Abby Larson. Valerie Meyer. Sydney Mullen. Nalab Samad. Anna Schoberg. Nikki Skidmore. Johnette Toady. Brooke Underberg. Michelle Virtue. Kylie Weir. Monica White. Morgan Whip. Heating, ventilation, air conditioning, refrigeration, Alex Schoenberner. Diesel technology, agriculture, construction, Carter Hartz. Matthew Lair. Information technology security, Logan Johnson. Clay Hathaway. Computer technician, Abdi Youssef. Welding, Malcolm Alvarado Rodriguez. Austin Beckendorf. Randy Boardman. Dustin Bray. David Barsky. Rex Godfrey. Tyler Heidecker. Kevin Jones. Stacy LeBlanc. Daryl Reed. John Wheeler.
Graduates, would you now please stand? President Klossman, I now have the honor to present to you the Sioux Falls School Board and the South Dakota Board of Technical Education, the candidates for the Associate of Applied Science degree, diploma, and certificates of Southeast Technical College. For the fall of 2024, we are awarding 94 Associate of Applied Science degrees. For diploma, we are awarding 62. And for the certificate, we are awarding 24. These graduates have been recommended by the faculty for my approval and certification to you. I now would like to present to you and ask for your approval and certification to the Sioux Falls School District and the South Dakota Board of Technical Education, these candidates, as they have completed the required course of study, and I now ask for you to confer upon them their appropriate degree. President Klossman.
By the authority invested in me, I confer upon you the Associate of Applied Science degrees, diploma, and certificates of Southeast Technical College as designated by the Vice President of Academic Affairs, and admit you to all their rights, privileges, and responsibilities. Graduates, you may now turn your tassels as a symbol of completion of your respective degree or diploma. Congratulations. Please join me in congratulating them. Congratulations.
Family and friends, we ask that you remain seated as the platform party, faculty, and graduates now exit the ballroom. Please feel free to take one of the small poinsettias as a gift from the Southeast Tech Horticulture Department.